start the English Ahead 3, My Family and Me, Unit 1. In the Unit 1, there is Vocabulary 1 on page number 15, and different families description is given. For example, here on page number 15, Vocabulary 1. Ahmed 14, Larkana, Pakistan. I live with my mother and father and 2 sisters. My grandfather and grandmother also live with us now, and they are very old. My family is really important, so at most weekends we visit relatives or invite them to our house. My older sister Faiza has already got married and she lives with her husband, my brother-in-law, in Karachi. They have just had a son, Amir. My nephew is amazing and at school being an uncle. Obviously, my younger sister both love being aunts. Now, dear students, here the names of different relations are given. For example, grandfather, grandmother, relatives, brother-in-law, nephew, uncle, aunts. Now the second, Karen, 15, Nottingham, UK. I live with my mom and my younger brother, Daniel. I've got 4 cousins, but to be honest, I don't really see them very often. My older brother lives with his family in Australia. I talk to him and my niece Carla every week online. My mom is close to my dad's sister, her sister-in-law, and we often see her. Now here, students, you can see there are some other names of relatives, family members like cousins, niece, sister-in-law. Here another one word I told you in 2 pronunciations like often and often. So in American English we say often, in British English we say often. Okay. Now number 3, look at Ahmed's family tree. Compute the sentences with the words in bold. Here Ahmed's family tree is given. You have to make your own family tree. My family tree. My family tree. My family tree. Now, when you will make your own family tree, like you will say your, for example, you should start your grandfather. From grandfather, then it comes to your grandfather. Grandfather, it comes to your father, and from father it's come to you. So it's a family tree. So you should make your own family tree and send it to me or show it to me in the Zoom meetings. For example, your grandfather, then your grandfather and his brother's names, if you know. Then your father and his brother's name, if you know. Then you and your brother's names, if you know. Similarly, brothers and sisters' names, if you know. So, and here fathers and aunts, uncles and aunts' names you should write. So, for example, you see, if I write here grandfather, grandfather, and then grandmother, then there will be grandfather and grandmother. Okay. Now here, if you know the brothers of your grandfathers, you should also write here. And then from grandfathers, your father name, your father and mother. From your father and mother, your family starts. And here your father's brother's names, brother of your father and sister of your father. Now these names also you can write. Now from father then is your name and your brother names and your sister's names. So this becomes your family tree. You should make it attractively and show it to me. Then come to the next page. A powerful family. The Ming Dynasty. A powerful family. the Ming Dynasty, a powerful family. So there are many families in the world: Ming Dynasty, Mughal Dynasty. In this time, Saudi Arabia, there is a dynasty. What is dynasty? Dynasty means the rule of one family. Dynasty means the rule of one family. So it's called dynasty in the terminology of history. Ming Dynasty. Ming Dynasty is a Chinese family, and let's see. There is Emperor Hongwu picture. You can open page number 17. On page number 17, you can see a picture of the Emperor Hongwu. There are Ming soldiers. There are the Forbidden City, and there is another picture, blue and white Ming porcelain. Now, it's a comprehension, like in paper you get comprehension passage and then you get the questions. On the base of your reading, you do your questions. So let's read as a model reading. I'm telling you just one paragraph, then you should read the whole passage. Life in China in the 1300s was not an easy time for its people. Its rulers, the Mongols, were too busy fighting amongst themselves to care about the people. Additionally, terrible diseases were killing millions, and the country had been hit by many natural disasters, including huge floods and earthquakes. Change was needed and would come from one family. So then, due to this change, then a person, Zhu Yongzheng. Zhu Yongzheng is a person who does rebellion against the Mongols, and he forms his government, his power in China, and then he captures a lot of small states in China and establishes a very powerful government and makes China a power of the world. And also we have studied earlier that the Great Wall of China was also completed by this dynasty. So you should work on this passage, read it, and then on page number 16, you should do the exercises and show it to me in your Zoom meeting. It's just your comprehension, like your paper, right? So I believe you will do it successfully. For example, here's look at the photos in the articles, discuss the questions. Where do you think they are from? So obviously it's from China. They're from China. When do you think they were made of? When do you think they were made? When? So when? In the time of the Ming Dynasty. What special historical objects do you have in your own country? So what historical objects are there in our own country? हमारे मुल्क में हिस्टोरिकल ऑब्जेक्ट तारीखी चीज़ें क्या क्या इस वक्त मौजूद हैं डिफरेंट म्यूजियम्स में डिफरेंट इलाकों में सो you will write the names and will tell me. Well, so you should read the other questions and do it and show it to me. Inshallah, I will see your work in the Zoom meetings. Thank you.